Heyo. 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 All right, folks. Let's get down to it. No need to mess around. Let's get in. All the important players are here. Rolling in one by one. Yes, yes, yes. Let's get going. Well, you early birds, well, at least here in the States, for many of you, you're well into your day. And for my friends, my Aussie friends, my friends from New Zealand, well, you guys are getting ready to go to bed, some of you. But here we all are together. One big, happy family of misfits, ne'er-do-wells, rabble-rousers. At least that's what it feels like. I could only speak for myself. I can feel the rift in society and communities. The distance between me and, let's just call him the average normie, has grown to a point now where it seems basically unbridgeable at this point, which is sad. I certainly don't want it to be like that. You probably don't want it to be like that. But if we're to be honest, I don't see how the rift can ever be healed. So how do we proceed? What do we do? It's weird times that we're in. And I think there's going to be a continued compulsion, pressure to conform. Mainly because it seems to be a natural state of mankind, likely based off our biology and the necessity of community in terms of our survival. It seems to be hardwired instinct. And I think whoever these controllers are, the powers that shouldn't be, I think they understand that very well. And I think they play on that as they slowly move us towards their, let's say, their final goal, their final destination. Dare I say, the final solution. Um, it seems like that it's a long game for them. But what does that mean for us? How do we handle it? How do we move forward? How do we exist? Because increasingly, to me at least, the any type of isolationist mindset um, will be shown to be ineffective. We don't exist in isolation. We can't. It's just not how we work. We're not wired for it. And even more so, who wants to? Why would you want to? What kind of life is that? To live alone, like in the woods, scraping for survival? That's not a life. Once you realize that there's fates worse than death, it changes the game here. Once you realize that there are fates worse than the loss of your mortal body, it changes things. Because if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. It's a trope, but it's true. So what do you stand on? What do I stand on? I take stock of it. It seems like the trick is to convince everyone that there really are no morals, no right and wrong, to engender an idea that everything's subjective, relativistic, and that morals, ethics, and values are just basically a result of convention, culture. This is the secular world that they've created. But I remind myself consistently that this secular understanding is underpinned by their so-called science, their so-called history. And when you realize the deceptions from the top down, the magnitude of the deception and how deep it goes, you begin to understand the fallacy of this secular understanding, and that, like most things, it's based on a fundamental belief system, a belief that was very likely indoctrinated, conditioned, and engineered. And that's the trick. They've removed the magic, the wonder, the mystery from life. They tell you that you're an accident. They give you religions, but even those participating in the religions seem to be just doing it for some type of ritual. They're religious in name only, Christian in name only, whatever fill in the gap name in name only. Yeah, they'll go to church every Sunday. They'll pray, they'll sing, they'll gather in fellowship. But when the government says you got to close your doors because there's a quote unquote emergency, a pandemic, well, those doors were closed. Those people stayed home. What kind of religion is that? They tell me in America there's a separation of church and state, which to me is laughable. Because if you have to file your so called church, if you have to file and register with the so called government, these 501c3 churches, well, is there really a separation of church and state? It's laughable. But they'll go to their churches each Sunday. They'll listen as the pastor pours sweet honey into their ears, preaches some new age prosperity gospel. And then the rest of the week they'll just go about their secular reprobate ways. But how do we break the divide? Do we? Even more importantly, how do we survive and thrive? I'm realizing more and more that where we need to be the ones to take the higher ground. We have to be the better ones. If we know better, we need to do better. And if we play into their dynamic, well, then we're really no better than they are. I was thinking about this yesterday, just going around, observing people. And I'm thinking they just don't know any better, or they're scared. I don't need to convince them. You don't need to convince others around you of the things that you know, the things that you understand. It's not your job, and you probably couldn't do it anyway if you tried. But what you can do is serve as an example, a model, remind people what it means to be a man or a woman really, and not whatever they've turned this whole cult of culture into, which at this point is just sad and pathetic. All right, let's get the show going. Let's get the show going. All right, I'll give you guys the official opening. I should get music for my opening. Let me think. I should have prepared this. We'll do this on the fly. Let's try this one. Where is it? Come on. Let's try this. Yeah! Good morning, everybody. Grand Rising and Grand Approach, and welcome back to the show. Yeah, my show. That's right, folks. We're broadcasting live and in living color around the level horizontal realm that we call Earth. That's right, everybody. Welcome. Yeah. Tonight's guest. That's the Johnny Carson theme, by the way. In case you didn't know. Yeah, well, welcome tonight's guest, Razvan, the Romanian Nightmare, Flat Earth Eric, who's a complete lunatic, and Morgan. Yeah. Man, that's some zippy music. It's old-timey Hollywood stuff. I would have did well in old-timey Hollywood. Like, I could have lived the Sinatra life. I could have done it. It seemed like it was okay. I'd rather be like a star back then than like these new age, like Illuminati controlled stars. They're probably always Illuminati, but at least the presentation back then was more real. But I could have been a golden age Hollywood kind of guy. I could have done that. It was less douchey to be a movie star back then than now. They're all douchey now. Like, look at these A-list actors. They're just creepy. Like Tom Cruise, even, he's creepy. Even all these guys. Chris Pratt seems like a weirdo. All these guys, they're fucking weird, goofy. What happened to the old time movie stars? The real ones. I could have been a movie star. I mean, you know, in my head, in my fantasy. Like, I could have lived the life. Except I don't do well with drugs and alcohol. Like, I read, like, these rock stars and stuff. Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones, etc., etc. They were just living these debaucherous, like, bacchanalian type lifestyles. Consuming, like, Herculean amounts of drugs and alcohol. I couldn't have done that. I drink a glass of wine and I wake up with a headache in the morning. I'm like, oh, what's that? Why does my head hurt? I never did good with alcohol, which is probably a good thing for me. Like some of these women, like I would date and stuff, we'd go out. And they would get hammered. They would just keep drinking all night long. And I tried to keep up with them. Like, oh, I'm cool. I'm the guy. No, I wasn't cool. I couldn't keep up with these chicks. This one chick I remember specifically, her drink was Red Bull and vodka. This was years ago. This was like maybe 9 or 10 years ago. So I'm hanging out with her. We're at like some bar. Red Bull and vodka, Red Bull and vodka. 6 Red Bull and vodkas later, she's still up, going like a nut. It's 4 a.m. My head's spinning, buzzing. I feel like I'm about to have a heart attack. That was it for me. It actually tastes good, like a Red Bull and vodka. You'd be surprised how drinkable that is, but it's too much. And I'm like, how's this girl? She's like half my weight. How's she like drinking so? But they do it. It's crazy. I bet some of you ladies out there could attest to it. But I can't handle it. I can't handle the booze. I can't handle the drugs. I don't like it. I don't even like eating carbs. It's the point I'm at in my life, which is probably good. Who's here? Let's see who's here. Got to greet the chat. You guys showed up here. Might as well say hi. Checking in. Sri Hari Hari says, Yozi, yesterday was great comedy. Hope you get another dumbass to entertain us. I get a lot of dumbasses on the show, Sri Hari Hari. You might want to be a little bit more specific. I'm going to assume you're talking about our friend Flat Earth Eric. Are you there, Eric? You listening to me right now? You're insane, by the way. Anyway, let's continue. Musical Secret coming in with a BTO, which I believe stands for Bachner Turner Overdrive lyric. And a Phil Collins lyric, Easy Lover. Nice. Nice. Snafu Snaps in the house. Much love, Mr. Snafu. Big Drink Tea coming at us. Capricorny, yeah. Joe R in the house. Truth Hurts TV, greetings to you. Russell Combs, a.k.a. 5-Speed, much love. Nuba with a heart and prayer hands. Much love, Nuba. Hope you're doing well. Moving your homestead into storage. Maybe someday we'll get the story. The producer Moose in the house. He said, the slaves of Unslavia have been attacking my channel all night. They think a few unsubscribes and thumbs down is going to hurt. Oh, Moose. Moose, if you play with fire, you're going to get burnt, Moose. Just saying. Steph Davis in the house. Looking at her lovely face. Steph, hit me up, Steph. We can talk. We can talk. Oh, Ruled by Saturn. Yeah, coming at us. Yes, Rebel Rouser. You got it, Steph Davis. Sovereign Mist. Much love, much love. Nuba says, I'm in my own little world at the moment. Are they kicking off the Big C again? I don't know, Nuba. Who knows at this point? It doesn't even matter at this point. They're going to do what they're going to do. They're going to do what they're going to do. Fuck them, really. We got to just laugh. I woke up this morning. I was like, you know what? Like sometimes I could think a thought that'll trigger me into like a funny mood. I'm like, they're clowns, man. This is a clown show. Treat it as such. Laugh at the circus. They want you to be all hemmed up, anxious, angry. That's what they want. Fuck it, don't give it to them. Laugh in their face. They're dumb, they're stupid. Rachel Zinger in the house. Howdy. Alex Tilburg. Bonjour to you. Bonjour. Joe Moore. Yeah. Who else is here? Everybody chatting it up. Fruit Kiss says, no more great actors like back then. Right. I watch these movies. Nobody can act. They suck. Who else is here? A Fattori. A Fattori's here. I think that's a new name for this channel. Much love. Jack Talcott loves getting pegged. Very strange name. He just says, "Hey, dumbass." Hecklebus. Just wizard. He's talking to Moose. Wizard and Moose having a conversation in the chat. And Wizard's talking about what else? The U.S. Postal Service. Of course. Much love. Much love. Guitar Bear. Much love, Guitar Bear. Good to see you again. Gotta love the Bears. OTW News. Who knows what OTW's up to? Patrick, who knows what you're up to? Probably no good. You're probably up to no good, if I had to guess. You never know with Patrick. Like, he does his thing, and then he explodes. Like, you won't hear from him, and then you'll see him 2 weeks later. And he'll be, like, spiraling and screaming and chain smoking. Yeah, much love. Yeah, OTW is talking to Moose about singing something. Just whatever you're doing, Moose, with Patrick, just don't rap. Patrick's pretty good in the guitar and stuff. He's got the rock side going. Not so much the rap. Pat, you're the whitest guy ever. Like, you take the cake. You get the award. The most Caucasian of all Caucasians. Moose says I got his singing career started. That's right, you sang here, Moose. Who can forget? And now you're collaborating with OTW, apparently. Who knows? What are you doing up there in Canadian land? OTW, did they ever get those fires out that just burned forever? It just says awesome. I guess you say you're doing awesome. I don't know. Cool. Last we heard from Patrick, he was hopelessly addicted to caffeine. He drinks coffee all morning till noon, and then he proceeds to drink six Monster drinks throughout the day. He says, I don't know. It's all right, Pat. Hang in there. You're a grandfather. People depend on you. Nobody depends on me. I'm just like floating in the breeze, Pat. I'm a ghost at this point. I'm like Ghost Protocol. I could disappear like that. I pretty much have. I like it that way. It keeps people on their toes, keeps people wondering. I don't know what people make of me at this point. Like, I see people that, like, from my past and stuff, they look at me like, what's this guy up to? He's not one of us. Like, he can see. I ran into this this woman that I went to high school with. I was just riding my bike. She was walking down the street. She was like coming from some store. I live in the kind of place where there's like, grocery stores, restaurants, and people walk to it. You could walk home. I'm in like a town. It's not like a tiny town. It's like medium sized. So I saw her. I was like, I went to high school with that chick. And not only that, we like kind of, I'll just say we dated. Yeah, if you know what I mean. So we know each other. I saw her walking. I'm like, man, did I say something to her? I was on my bicycle. So I roll up next to her on my bike, trying not to be creepy, but I'm sure it was creepy. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. You remember me? She's like, oh, yeah, hi. But then you can tell, like, she just wanted to get out of the conversation as quickly as possible and move on. I was like, oh, okay, bye. Which is weird because there was a time where that would have went different. I used to be like a professional. I used to own a business, my own private practice. I'd walk around town in a stupid monkey suit, like a Brooks Brothers pressed white shirt, starch, medium starch, that would get dry cleaned with a brand new tie, shoes, and a belt. Yeah, when I was walking around town like that, people like her would treat me much differently. But now I'm like just kind of cruising around with a straw hat on, like the way I am now, and it's quite different. So it was weird. I'm like, oh, I'm not like you guys. You're not my peoples. You don't even want to talk to me. And then I'm like, I don't even really want to talk to you. Like I'm that guy. I'm like, okay, I didn't really want to talk to you anyway. Bye. See you. And that's what got me thinking about this gap, that this rift in the so-called society. How do we overcome it? Do we overcome it? Should we overcome it? Steph Davis says creepers. Z. I was trying not to be creepy, Steph. I was trying to be friendly. I wanted to test the waters out. Because normally I avoid people. Normally I'm just like, oh, I know that person. I'm not even going to acknowledge them. But this one time I'm like, I'm like, we used to kind of like be friends and stuff. I was like, let me see what she's up to. So I'm like, I don't know. What are you saying, OTW? Because I was talking about you. You're saying some stuff. Keeps me on my toes. What do you mean? Your insane caffeine consumption? 4 monsters. Oh, now it was before it was 6 monsters. I depend on you to poke me. Much love, Patrick. You hang in there. So I don't know what to do. I wonder if you guys are feeling that. This pressure to conform, this pressure to capitulate. It seems like it's more on the more fairer of the species, the women. A lot of you ladies, I think, are handling this well, but for the most part, I just see I see a lot of women kind of going along to get along. Some of you ladies would probably argue with me about that, but I see a lot of women kind of. I saw a lot of men with this whole thing make decisions in their life based on pressure they were receiving from the women in their life, which I think highlights a fundamental issue and dysfunction with our society. Guys, the ladies aren't supposed to decide things for you. They're not really going to think logically most times. Their decisions are going to be emotional, often impulsive, and lacking in forethought and planning, which is one of the reasons I think they engineered this, equal partnership, egalitarian society. It really doesn't match up to nature. And I know there's people. I've said this in a show before, and some of the women have disagreed with me, which is fine. You can disagree. It's just my opinion based off my observations. I just think the women have a greater tendency to capitulate to the to societal convention and norms. You know. Rule by Saturn says I never did that shit, which is why I'm single now. Yeah. And then you'll get shamed for it, ruled by Saturn. The other men aren't going to stick up for you. They're just going to say, oh, look at you. They'll point to, like, you know, their wife or their girlfriend. Oh, not me. Not me. Well, you just aren't blah, blah, blah. Crazy. Don Juan DeMarco. Who's Paula and Balsac Chin Tarek? What are you talking about, man? Patrick asked for the link. I don't know if Pat wants to come up. Are you coming up, Patrick? Seems like you have something to say this morning. Maybe we'll talk to Patrick. OTW. He seems to be up and active. He knows what he's doing. What are you saying, Steph Davis? She says, I tend to be a peacekeeper, right? But I can also be a whole dick. It's situational. Yeah, I mean, you look like kind of a tough cookie. Doesn't surprise me. What do I know? It's hard to tell from just a little picture. What by Saturn says he's getting juiced up. I don't know. What do you want, Patrick? And then Don Juan DeMarco is talking about me and Patrick. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like, should I know? I don't keep up, guys. Although last night, guess what? I watched the Mr. Jack Talcott stream. I was like, so I don't know. Like, I was in a mood. I was doing something. I said, let me put on Jack Talcott's stream. And I got into some, like, weird Zen-like state. Like, first, Illumitami came on. And then he was just doing his Illumitami thing. And then, like, Moose was on. I heard you, Moose. And then, like, Joe Cool and Flow State. Normally, I don't listen to, like, other content creators like myself. I don't know why. Only sometimes. Like, I'll listen to London Man's channel, who does, like, an open panel like this, and others. But last night, I was, like, zenned out on the Jack Talcott experience. Which is fascinating, how Talcott has, like, worked his way into our psyches. I'm sure many of you know Talcott. Some of you don't, but... Like, Talcott just kind of, like, insinuated himself on everybody. At first, everyone was like, oh, get away, get away. And then, like, eventually, it's like, oh, okay. Like, he Fight Clubbed himself. And remember in Fight Club, when to join, they would show up to the door, and then, you know, whatever his name is, Brad Pitt or the other guy would come out, and they'd just berate the shit out of him. Like, get the fuck out of here, you're a loser, nobody wants you here. But they would just sit at the doorstep, and eventually they'd be like, oh, come on in. That's what Talcott did. He just showed up on everybody's doorstep. And he was like, oh, I'm here. I'm Jack Talcott. Live without fear. End all wars and government secrets. And we were just like, oh, who's this guy? Get away. We threw things at him. We whipped him. Flogged him. But he stayed. He took the abuse. Basically, you know, fragged him. And now he's like he's like a part of things. Now I'm like watching his stream and stuff. Yeah, like Mbal says, who the fuck is Talcott? Like, there's some people here who have no clue who I'm talking about. He's a YouTuber. Mbal. He's the guy who's going to end all wars and government secrets. But you also said Sicilians have always been pussies. Now, come on, Mbal. You know that's not true. Sicilians, you can't call Sicilians pussies. Like, nobody's ever done that because everyone knows that's true. Sicilians are crazy. The thing about a Sicilian is they have certain abilities just innately by genetics. One is the ability to just be cold-blooded. Also, Sicilians can tell a lie, which I have in me. Like, I have a keen sense of when somebody's lying to me, when somebody's bullshitting me. Like, it's really tough to bullshit me because I'm Sicilian. I should have been like a lawyer. I would have been a great lawyer, a defense lawyer. Like, you clean me up, like I trim my beard, you shave me up, you put some gel in my hair. I'll look like Michael Corleone. Sicilians are really good lawyers because it's hard to bullshit a Sicilian. It just is, for whatever reason. Like, you can try. It also makes them good liars too. Look, if you can spot a lie, you usually can lie really well. It's just a Sicilian thing. It's hard to explain. Are you Italian, M-Ball? You sound like an Italian bashing on Sicilians. He says, who the fuck is Talcott? He looks insane. Did you find Talcott? He does look insane. Oh, he says, I'm Sicilian. All right, M-Ball. Then you know. Yeah. Well, then if you're Sicilian, you understand. Come on. But like I said, I should have been like an attorney. I almost was a lawyer. Like, when I was in school, when I was young, like when everyone was like, oh, you got to go to college. Mind is a terrible thing to waste. Go ahead. Spend all this money, take all these loans out. That's the first thing I was going to be, as a lawyer. I would have been a good one. I could have been a lawyer for the mafia. How's that music, M-Ball? Does it make you feel at home? But make no mistake about it, The Godfather, like, really captured what it is to be, like, a cold-blooded, cold-hearted Sicilian motherfucker. The key to being Sicilian is, like, basically the ability to be angry but not show it. Like, Michael Corleone just seemed like he was constantly angry. But you just walk around with, like, the mobster coolness. So there's part of me that's like this, but I'm only a quarter Sicilian, so I'm not completely cold-blooded. I could, like, check myself. Yeah, that's right, M-Ball, for crying out loud. Yeah, they're a little miffed. Like, look at Tony Soprano. Like, he just was angry all the time. So in an effort to, like, squelch the anger and the general feelings of unpleasantness, you just go into organized crime. It's weird being Sicilian. Like, I don't quite know what I am. Like, if you ever look into the history of Sicily, you'll find out that Sicily is a very strange place. That's right. Everybody secretly wants to be Italian. That's another secret. Everybody's like jealous. At least that's the way I look at it. I'm like, yeah, you all want to be Italian. I mean, there's pluses and minuses. Don Juan DeMarco says Boardwalk Empire is a must watch. Yeah. I know the guy who wrote the book Boardwalk Empire. His name is Nelson Johnson. He wrote it about his relative, Nucky Johnson. I live near Atlantic City. I only watched like the first 2 seasons years ago. I'm not like super into it. Yeah. You can check it out. His name is Nelson Johnson. Rose says the answer to your question is explained by Dennis Hopper to Christopher Walken in True Romance. Oh no. Rose, should I play that clip? Alright, it's time for an interlude anyway. It's probably going to get the stream shut down, but I'm going to play it. Because Rose, I was thinking that in the back of my head, and now you said it. OTW, are you coming up? I dropped the link for your goofy Canadian ass. You wanted the link. I'll drop it again, goofball. Alright, Rose, if my channel gets shut down, I'm gonna... Alright, she says you have to. I'm gonna blame you, Rose. Only because I was gonna fucking play it. It speaks for itself, but based on this topic, there's no way I can't play it now. Alright, guys, so we're gonna take an interlude as we watch this, this clip from the classic movie True Romance. Which, P.S., the movie was written by Quentin Tarantino, but not directed by him. It was one of the few movies that he wrote but did not direct. And let's pull it up. It's called The Sicilian Scene in True Romance, played by 2 Hollywood classic actors, Dennis Hopper and Christopher Walken. Let me get it up here. And we'll be back in a few short moments after this... incredibly racist and bigoted portrayal of
17 years
of the Italian community. Where is it? Come on. Here it is. All right. Can't believe I'm going to play this. Let me just warn everybody. This is a fair... I see you, OTW. Hold on. We'll bring you up after this interlude. What should I say? Fair warning with this one. This is not meant safe for work material. If you're listening at work, you might want to like put some headphones in at this point. All right, let me fucking play this. All right. Be back in a few short. Don't go anywhere. Much love, everybody.
You know.
So I'll just prep it. Dennis Hopper's son is being pursued by the Sicilian fucking, mafia, the mafioso. So now they got a hold of Dennis Hopper, and they're trying to interrogate him to find out where his son is. And this is what ensues. See you soon.
Sicilians are great liars. Best in the world. I'm Sicilian. My father was the world heavyweight champion of Sicilian liars. From growing up with him, I learned the pantomime. There are 17 different things a guy can do when he lies to give himself away. Guy's got 17 pantomimes. Woman's got 20. Guy's got 17. But if you know them, like you know your own face, they'd be lie detectors all to hell. Now, what we got here is a little game of show and tell. You don't want to show me nothing, but you tell me everything. I know you know where they are, so Tell me, before I do some damage you won't walk away from.
Could I have one of those Chesterfields now?
I'm gonna have to pause this probably every once in a while so I don't shut my stream down, which kind of sucks. But again, like we were saying before, notice the acting. This is before social media, IT, stupid computer technology. People were more people. The emotions were more genuine. The facial expressions more human as such. What the fuck happened to everybody? Tired of it. All right, let me continue. This is hilarious, by the way.
Sure.
You got a match? Oh, wait, no, I don't bother. I don't. You're Sicilian, huh?
Sicilian.
You know, I read a lot, especially about things, about history. I find that shit fascinating. Here's a fact, I don't know whether you know or not. Sicilians were spawned by niggers.
Come again?
Oh, it's a fact. Yeah. You see, Sicilians have black blood pumping through their hearts. And no, if you don't believe me, you can look it up. Hundreds and hundreds of years ago, you see, the Moors conquered Sicily, and the Moors are niggers.
This is apparently true. If you go through popular history, which I'm kind of proud of. That I feel like that gives me street cred. You guys think I'm joking, but I'm not. I'm like, yeah. I need to get one of these. I'm afraid to get these 23andMe. Not like I'm scared, but I don't really want to give up my DNA to anybody. But I'm kind of proud of that. That Sicilians were spawned by, N-words. Yeah, laugh it up, ruled by Saturn. Like, that's a feather in my cap. I'm like, ladies, just know that I was spawned by N-words. I really do feel like it gives me street cred. All right, let's continue.
See, way back then, Sicilians were like wops from northern Italy.
Wops.
They had blonde hair and blue eyes. But, well, then the Moors moved in there and, they changed the whole country. They did so much fucking with Sicilian women that they changed the whole bloodline forever. That's why blonde hair and blue eyes became black hair and dark skin. It's absolutely amazing to me to think that to this day, hundreds of years later, that Sicilians still carry that nigger gene. Now this, I'm quoting history. It's written. It's a fact. It's written.
I love this guy.
And I know Hollywood is all programming and propaganda, but at least it was better programming back then. At least these guys could act. They could pull off a scene, make it iconic. Who could do this now? Nobody. Pick two actors, put them in this chair, try to reenact this scene. Nobody's going to do it. You can't. You're not going to find it. They're all douchebags. Who's going to do it? Timothy Chalamet? What's up with that guy? He's so weird. Although the new Dune movie wasn't that bad as far as movies go. I'm kind of into the Dune series. Plus, I like that Zendaya. She's quite a peach. Rose says this is improv. It might be, which makes it even better. If they're like fucking improv in this, you know? It's awesome. Let's continue. Oh, OTW wants to remake this scene. That's not a bad idea. We do it at some point, OTW. I play the Christopher Walken scene. You play the Dennis Hopper. And you just tell me I was spawned by N-words. Maybe we get Illumitami to do this. He loves throwing that word around. Every time I see Illumitami on a panel, he's calling somebody the N-word. Let's continue.
Guy.
No.
Guy.
No. Your ancestors are niggers. Hey. Yeah. And your great grandmother fucked a nigger. Oh, yeah. And she had a half nigger kid. Now, if that's a fact, tell me, am I lying? Because you're part eggplant.
No!
Hey.
You're a cantaloupe. Beautiful.
Oh my god, I could watch this a million times, Rose. It's so funny. You and I thought to play this at the same time. See, he knows he's dead. He knew he was dead from the beginning. So what did he do? Instead of being, he could have been a little punk bitch. Don't kill me. Gave up his son's location. He knew he was done. Nah, he went out like a champ. That's how I'm living my life. That's why I come on here every morning and do this. Because I ain't going out like no punk bitch to these motherfuckers. I'm Dennis Hopper right here. I'm doing it like that. I'm going to look you right in the face and tell you what a fuck you are. Well, who am I going to go out to? Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, these weirdos, Joe Biden, the Obamas? Sorry. I'm going to look you right in the face each morning and tell you what a fucking clown show you are. We're almost done. I'm going to bring you up in a second, OTW.
I haven't killed anybody since 1984. Go to this comedian's son's apartment. Come back with something tells me that ass.
And there it is. God forbid. That's how you gotta look. That's how, if you gotta go out, that's how you want to go out. Like a baller, like a shot caller. That's how you gotta go out. Not like some punk ass bitch. Seriously, guys, that's why I'm doing this. I'm going out like Dennis Hopper. Give a fuck. Oh, you want to come after me? You're going to fucking pull all your little games on me? You want to dance? Let's dance. I'm ready to dance. I was born and bred for this shit. Fuck with me. Let's bring in Patrick. Patrick, what's up? Welcome back to the stream.
What's up? Peace.
Heyo.
Just checking him. Mic check.
Yeah, you're good, man.
All right.
Good morning.
A sec. Let me just change this. There we go. All right. So, no, it's really hard having a conversation with you when I'm in chat because I answer something you say like fucking paragraphs ago, you know? So then when you see what I said, you're like not too sure what I'm talking about, probably because I answered something you said like 15 phrases beforehand. Just saying.
Yeah, I get that. And then I get to just twist your words into whatever I want it to be, and then I can just go off on a narrative.
It's funny because sometimes when you take what I say and put it in the present context, it doesn't make any sense at all. It's like then I'm like, well, no wonder he thinks I'm fucking nuts.
Oh, I think you're nuts. Don't worry. This new guy, M. Ball, who apparently thought that last segment was funny and who apparently is Sicilian, is asking who this Joker is I have on my panel. Do you want to explain who you are to M. Ball? What's your elevator pitch? Who are you, Patrick? Besides, a French-Canadian guy who loves to drink Monster energy drinks and smoke spliffs at a 4-to-1 ratio of weed to tobacco.
I'm just an asshole with a computer.
That's one way to look at it, Pat. You could say that about any of us, right?
I guess so. I think it just fits the it fits the fuck, I'm losing my mind. It fits the whatever, fuck it. Change subjects. Let's go on to something else. I lost my track of thinking.
Are you losing your mind, Pat? Pat, what do you say to people who are new that stumble upon these, so-called communities and don't understand what's going on? Like someone who they'll pop on Z Show or, the OTW News and just see people screaming at each other, like calling each other fuck faces. Like, I'd imagine to be quite jarring to somebody who's like uninitiated with this whole process. Like,
I'd say
there's weird phenomena that we like. It's almost like to be accepted in these groups, you almost have to get jumped in. Like I was saying, Talcott had to get jumped in like a gang. I don't swear.
Yeah, like Fight Club. It's a bit like Fight Club. You got to be initiated to get in, But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, I would say to these people, save yourself now while you still have time, right? It's like once you get too involved, it's over. You're trapped, like the Burning Man.
Right. Like Rule by Saturn says, blood in, blood out.
Yeah. It's funny how it works itself out because it's as if we all have to hate each other first before we end up liking each other. You know what I'm saying? It's like kind of weird.
It is weird, Pat. What you gotta G check people sometimes, man. You gotta test people out and push them and see how they react.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I was explaining that to one of my friends the other day. Went over to their house, had supper. It was a really great evening. But I was mentioning that to them, saying that sometimes you got to trigger people to see who they are, And I learned that recently. Well, in at least the past 6 months.
Right. Pat, I got Caged Reality is backstage. What do you think he's up to? Have you talked to him in a while?
Maybe a week ago. I don't know what he's up to. You can bring him up.
Is he still looping on like the same 2 or 3 topics that he always loops on?
Dude, he's the worst of the trio, the master trio, Lumitami, fucking Snafu, and Cage. Cage is the least worst of them all, I believe.
I don't know, Mr. Caged Reality. He keeps trying to come on my show, and I keep kind of like you said, I keep fight clubbing his ass, but he keeps showing up, you know?
Because he wants to join the club.
I don't think he really does, though. I just think he wants to loop. Fucking goofy ass.
What I noticed is Cage likes for people to play the stuff that he's interested in, you know? Like, he goes, hey, I dropped the link in the private chat there for video, dude. You want to? And sometimes it's good. Oh, yeah, he did come on my show last time, and we played like a 45-minute video, which was actually really good, and he had produced it with AI. No, yeah.
Well, I'm definitely not going to play a 45-minute Cage AI.
Obviously not.
Video.
You only have 3 hours. You know,
Yeah.
we never know how long it'll go. So,
I mean, I like Cage, Patrick. It's funny. Cage and I were another example that, like, our first few meetings, it was just the two of us basically arguing with each other and me screaming at him and stuff. You know, and now I kind of like him. Like, I wouldn't say like I want to like hang out with Cage, and get all cozy with him and stuff, but you know, London Man said he was half decent on his stream the other day, and Moose thinks Cage is intelligent. I don't know. Let's bring him up.
That's what I'm saying. He's not as bad as Illumitami and Snafu. Snafu's a fucking constant looper, and Illumitami is absolutely insane, even though sometimes he sounds coherent. Cage is at least sane. I can believe he's sane. I don't hear him loop that much, besides the fact that he likes, stuff going his way instead of, listening to bullshit. But he still comes and listens to bullshit anyway, which I don't understand. But anyway. Welcome, Cage. How you doing?
What's up, everyone? Don't fucking compare me to fucking Illuminati and Snafu. What the fuck? That's not even a comparison, bro. I don't keep trying to come back here either. You haven't been on here for like a while. Think I want to join a fucking club of retards? What are you, high? What are you smoking?
But yet here you are. Yet here you are, Cage.
I'm just shooting the shit. I hit the link and I seen something about Sicilians. I'm Sicilian also.
Oh,
you're
shit.
Sicilian?
Yeah.
You're not Sicilian.
Yeah, I'm half Sicilian. My mom's Sicilian.
Oh, so you got some of that blood in you.
Oh yeah.
What did you think about the that segment there with Dennis Hopper talking about your peoples?
Well, that's true. But True Romance is one of the classic movies. It's a great movie. Christopher Walken always kills fucking every movie.
Yeah, man. I freaking think that actor is absolutely phenomenal.
You ever watch King of New York? That's another good one with him. Frank White. Yeah.
I saw that once, a long time ago.
That's a good one too. Pretty much anything Christopher Walken is fucking good. Same with Click.
So
Click.
Did your mom? Did your mom?
Reminded me of a movie, Cage. Hold on a sec. Did you see American Gangster with Denzel Washington?
Yeah, and he lights a man on fire. Yeah, I've seen that.
In that movie, there's an old man who doesn't go down on his wife, right? And he ends up going down on his wife, and she tells a friend, and she tells and one of his friends ends up telling, and he finds out, and he fucking dumps her and fucks off. That just reminded me of something, man. I remember that movie. That was fucking good.
Well, because it's what I always say about going down on women. You shouldn't do it. It's not anything to be proud of if you're diving between the legs. And generally, I think men should stay away from it.
I agree with you. That's one point I do agree with you on. In Toronto, you'll be ridiculed if people find out you're fucking eating pussy and shit. That's a no-no. People do it, but they can't tell people. They have to do it. They have to hide it.
Yeah, man. There's no reason to be down there. It doesn't work out for anybody. It doesn't even work out for you ladies, because they know they don't respect the guy who's down there doing that thing. They're looking down on you, laughing at you, guys. She's in your head. She's going to let you do it, but she's just going to laugh at you the whole time. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, over here it's a big no-no. You'll get ridiculed for that. People find out.
Yeah, man. Come on.
I don't know. Over here, I don't know why, but yeah, over here it's a thing. That's like a real. Everyone thinks like you on that topic over here.
Cage, you remember this? Let me play this for everybody. What is this? Hold on.
Is it the edit you created
Yeah.
with my
The,
voice? Fucking guy, bro.
Let me see if I could play this for everybody. Because I like this Cage. I like the Cage that I can control and manipulate what you say.
Like you have to have a fucking digital version of me that you can control and manipulate.
Yeah. Like
You
this
know,
might have been your best moment ever. Where is it? This is it. Let me bring it up.
This is where the classic music came from originally.
This is where I generated the hate frequency. So I took this from Cage. Cage went on a rant, a soliloquy here, and I took it and I produced the hate frequency. Like I did that on my, I don't know, some program on my computer here.
The truth is finally coming out. You're the man behind the hate frequency. There we go.
I am the man. You're so intent in letting people know that you indeed are not the progenitor of the hate frequency. Let's play it.
Caged reality. Your admission has already been paid for. Round and round we go. What seat would you like? Would you like a seat up front, in the middle, or somewhere in behind? You know what I mean? Either way, you're on the ride. So what topic would you like to look into? Reality. Really, reality is formulated through a subconscious mind. So we're always talking about, everyone's always talking about this shit that's going on and all this bullshit, but no one ever gets any solution. What about this? What about I give you a solution, right? And that's within. The only way out is in. The cage only opens up from the inside. So pretty much what we have to do is this. We have to reprogram our mind. Every thought that comes into your fucking mind, you have to analyze that, look at it, be like, okay, why is this coming into my mind? Where is this coming from? Is it mine? You have to mentally transmute it. It's called mental alchemy. It's turning lead to gold. So pretty much we have to look at all this stuff that comes into our mind, and we have to do through visualization, through every day, every thought. You know, we have to change it consciously, in order to change what's programmed into us. You know what I mean? If we do this for even a year, imagine this: we sat there for a year, and every thought that came into our mind, you know, we transmuted that into something positive for everyone around us, the people around us, our loved ones, our family, and everyone else. You know what I mean? And we transmuted it, and we realized we took dominion back over our mind. We can reprogram that, and it'll automatically happen after. You're not going to have to do anything. I mean, it's going to take a little bit of effort, but eventually we will get there. It's not difficult. Because pretty much these ancient occultists, these people that run the world, that know this, they know this stuff. And this is why everything you turn on is always negative. Like, even look on YouTube. You know what I mean? You can make a video saying, oh, Cage is a great guy. You know what I mean? Amazing information. You're not going to get any fucking views. You know what I mean? But then you can make a video saying Cage is a fucking asshole. Cage is blah, 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 blah. And you get a bunch of people clicking it. You know what I mean? To use that as an example. Because people feed off this negativity. Because it's a symbiotic relationship. They're using people as a power source. I would not be saying this shit if I didn't love you guys. You know what I mean? And people need to wake up and get the fuck into the game. You know what I mean? Because if you guys face Cage in chess, you lose every time. You're gonna get checkmated at the first move. You know what I mean? You have to learn the game in order to play the game. If not, you're gonna be eviscerated in every fucking facet of reality. And nobody will care. Nobody will be like me and actually talk about it. I'll be in the background laughing. You know what I mean? People need to wake the fuck up because, bro, people are very nice. I've been extremely nice to people online. You know what I mean? So I'm saying, like, you know, because I actually have hope. I have hope in people. I see potential. We have to reprogram their fucking mind. We have to reprogram our own mind. And that's what it boils down to. And that's the most important thing. Reality does not exist outside of your mind. Reality does not exist outside of your mind. Reality does not exist outside of your mind. Outside of your mind. It's all within you. We have to reprogram that, and we can do it right now. So I'm sorry if I come off like an asshole. If I come off a little weird and whatever emotion it makes you elicit. But you have to look at the real facts and fuck your emotion. Look at the fact. You know what I mean? And use that emotion as a tool. It's energy in motion. Energy in motion. We have to use it as a tool on our belt. Good editing, bro.
Yeah, I liked it. So was I on point? Was I on point when I said it? It sounded like Black Ops background sounds.
Oh yeah, people were saying MK Ultra programming. That's why I did it. I'm like, let me just do the weirdest MK. Like I produced that whole background sound, like all the stuff. There was like, I don't know, some program I had in my computer. It was like I think it was like movies.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you made the entire background noise too.
Oh, I made the whole thing, dude. Like every bit of it. Man. Like I made it, and then I remixed you over it with the edits and shit. That was your finest moment, Cage. It was. I remember you were on Freedom Growers show, and he just turned it over to you because you were being your normal Cage self, and you went on that little tirade.
He saw the opportunity in it. There you go.
Yeah. Here, Cage, I'll leave you the link to it because I don't have it like on my YouTube page. It's like privated or unlisted. Yeah. Well, I'll put the link in the backstage if you want it, and then you could download it or something. Who knows? Who knows?
I know, that surprised me when I seen I was tagged, and I'm like, what the fuck is he making over here?
You know, you might be a star someday, Cage.
No, that's definitely not what I'm doing.
Well, I know what you're into,
nightmare, bro. I like working in the background and shit. I don't like being in the.
Who knows what you like, Cage? I can never pin you. I don't know your motives, like what you're up to. I think you just like hanging out, like you want to belong and stuff. Like you act all tough, like you're like a Toronto gangster from the street and stuff, if that even exists. But you're probably just lonely in a room like the rest of us. Come on, come clean.
No. To be honest with you, it's just like sometimes it's just like an information overload. Because if I'm not, like, I don't really watch these panels or anything. I just come on and talk sometimes, just to talk to kind of like-minded people. But yeah, like sometimes you need to get away from like audio, because all I listen to is audiobooks and work all day. And I'm working right now. I'm always doing something. You know, I don't just sit around and fucking talk or listen to shit. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know what you mean. I was like that for a long time in my life. I was just consuming information constantly.
Yeah. Sometimes you need a break to fucking like integrate it and whatever. So.
I'm over that now, though. Like, I don't need any more info. Like, I'm saturated. I'm good. I'm at a different point in my life. Like, there's nothing really I'm interested in. Like, okay, there's certain things I want to like refine my knowledge on, but I'm not really interested in diving down rabbit holes. There's too much. It really is a rabbit hole because it never ends. I don't need that in my life anymore. I'm not looking for it. So I'd rather create things. I'd rather do things with my time I don't want to get trapped into this whole metaverse matrix. I'm fucking over it.
Yeah, I hear what you mean, because it gets to the point where it's an information overload and your mind becomes too saturated. So you do got to remove the unnecessary things, right? Like do like a fucking file dump in your brain.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm
Keep
getting ready,
dragging it.
Cage. Come talk to us another time. That's enough of you this morning. Much love, dude. Any final thoughts from your half Sicilian ass?
And everyone have a good day.
Much love.
Adios, amigos. Buenos
I
dias.
like Cage,
Muchas gracias.
Pat, but you know I can't leave him up here the whole time because it's not really going to go anywhere. He's not, you know what I mean? He's not looking to contribute. And then eventually it'll just turn bad. You know. What do you think about the chat, Patrick? They're basically saying, like, you know, not going down on women is gay. If if she cleans down there, then it's not a big deal. But you guys are missing like the whole point. It's
Mhm.
not about if it's clean. It's an energetic thing. I don't know, Patrick. You're not the best person to talk to about this because I know you're not going to agree with me. What's your take on it? Go ahead.
I don't mind. I don't know, dude.
You don't mind it.
I'm
but
kind
like,
of 50-50, honestly. You want me to tell you the truth? I'm kind of 50-50 on it.
all right, so let's go into it. Let's go into the
Yeah.
psychology. Why are you 50-50? Means you don't really want to be doing it, but you're doing it for her because you think you have to. That's why you're 50-50.
well, no, actually, that's the whole thing is no, I'm not really doing it. I haven't really done it in the past year, at least, for sure. No, I guess the partner that I'm with right now, she doesn't really care if I do or not. You know, it's like it's kind of a special relationship we have. But yeah. So honestly, yeah, that's it. But I guess it would depend. You know, I mean, think about I don't know, man. I have like so many different ideas in my mind, and sometimes I think I can't express them all because I probably sound nuts. But since you already think I am, maybe that doesn't make any difference.
Well, correct. Well, me and everybody else, Pat, we all know you're nuts. So go ahead, just let it fly, Pat.
Okay, so I think that I guess it depends on the person that you're with. There you go. And it depends, I guess, as well as how sexually active that couple would be, right? Or how physically attracted they are to each other. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I guess, and it depends how open you are sexually as well. Which is, in my case, I believe my partner isn't that open.
Well, I think we're learning something about you today, Pat. We're learning something.
She's
about
timid. You know what I'm saying? She's very timid. So she's not gonna. I've been down there before, but it's not something that she's like.
All right, we need to change the subject.
I suck at it. Maybe I suck at it. Maybe that's why she's like, you know, I don't know. Who knows?
Who's really good at it? Well, like Lou Bass came on and he was trying to give me tips and stuff. That's the thing, Pat. I tell people that I'm not really down with the cunnilingus, and everybody wants to give me tips as if they just assume I'm not doing it right or I have a bad experience. So one day Lou Bass was in the chat trying to give me tips and stuff, and he said you don't really lick; it's more of a suck type of thing. And then I'm like, all right, we have to move on from this topic. It's too much. It's gross.
You gotta suck on it. You don't lick it. Oh my god.
Yeah, he said you have to. But that's not true. I don't think he's even right with that. I don't even agree with that. It's too much, and I really don't want to have the visual of you now or Lou Bass like in the middle of that whole thing. It's too much. We don't need that. It's kind of. It comes back to my central thesis on sex: is that it's really fucking gross. Look at M. Ball says it's gross. You may seriously be gay, dude. Like so guys who don't go down on chicks are gay. Yeah, that's the thought. No. Sex is just gross in general. There's so many gross aspects to it. It really is. And that's the thing. People are so willy-nilly about sex. Like this younger generation, they're just all fucking each other. Like they're
and
not
there's
worried.
another thing.
You know, it's
I'm not
crazy.
too fond at like fucking eating my own sperm. You know what I'm saying? So let's say I fuck my woman every night, and I mean, I'm not gonna go down on her the next day. I have myself in there. I'm not gonna go fucking gobble up my own shit. I don't know. Kind of. Is that weird? I mean.
Well,
So I
Pat,
kind of resonate with you, Z. I do. I kind of resonate with
Yeah.
you on that a little. Like I said, I think it would depend on the woman. It's like I don't know if let's say a fucking 10 walked in because my woman's not a 10, but if a 10 walked in and she was ready to go, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Well, dude, I mean that's the thing, man. And like, okay, your own sperm, other guys' sperm. Look, if social media has taught us anything, Facebook, Instagram, these women tell on themselves. They're not faithful. Guys, look, I'm going to speak to all these guys out there listening to me. If you're in a long committed relationship over 2 or 3 years, the odds are you're not the only guy that's experienced your lady. There's somebody else at least once got it in on your lady. I'm just letting everybody know. And the ladies who are listening, they know. Whether or not they admit it, probably not. But let's all be serious, okay? It's not just about going down and lapping up your own swimmers. It's somebody else's swimmers down there. You don't want to be going down on these bitches. It's just a bad idea all around for so many reasons. I'm very passionate. Pat, this may be the most divisive subject that I speak about on my channel. Like, this is the subject I catch the most heat on. And I'm a flat earther. Think about that.
Yeah, I know that. Isn't that ironic?
Yeah. People are much more likely to be like, okay, yeah, I could see it might be flat, it might be a globe, whatever. Almost.
But you don't go down on women? What the fuck?
Like that's what people are passionate about. Like that's the subject that's controversial. But I will say that the argument that somebody's gay if they don't go down on women, that's disingenuous. I think that's a bad faith argument to make it about like one's sexuality. I really do. I'm just saying.
So you want only virgin women? What the fuck is who? Fruit Kiss? Research my research. What is he saying? You cannot think like that, so you want only virgin women.
About like other guys fucking your chick. No, it's not about virgin women. It's realizing that she's not yours. It's just your turn. It's not about only wanting virgin women. It's about understanding the reality of the situation. It's really what it is. See, people want to live in a fantasy, Patrick. You see, whoever this if you are a guy, the fruit kiss, they might be a female. They probably are a woman. But if you're a guy and you say shit like that, you're living in a fantasy. You want to think that the skeezer that you swiped right on Tinder 2 weeks ago, that you met up with, and on a second date, like you guys are getting it on, like you want to think that she's your chick. Like you want to live in some fantasy. It's not the reality, guys. I want everybody to stop it. If anybody comes to this channel, one of my biggest things I want to impart to you is to get real with yourself. Stop living in an imaginary world. Whether you think you're living on an impossible spinning space rock or that the vagina you're going down on hasn't had fucking 3 other dudes blasting in her in the last fucking 28 days. Just deal in reality, guys, and go from there. Stop living in a little la-la land. Tired of it.
Incredible. The people that the things they say is incredible. Fuck. And yeah.
Like Timmy Carini says, what kind of He says, "What kind of troglodyte bitches are you dealing with?" It's all of them, Timmy. This is the culture. Come on, look at these girls. They're monetizing that stuff, man. It's a free for all, man. These chicks are running wild. They're unrestrained. Come on. And that's another thing, Patrick. These young ladies are much more sexually active than the average man. I'm going to put it like this, Pat. Let's just do some numbers. Do a numbers game with me, right? Because in reality, everybody's hooking up. But here's the dynamic. The vast majority of the women are being sexually active with only a handful of men, the top tier guys. When you really look at it, there's 10 to 15% of the men are having sex with like 80% of the women. Let's call it the 80-20 rule, right? Let's even say 20% of guys. That means Christy Lee Dolls is here. Pay no attention to whatever Christy Lee's going to say because she's just going to be triggered by the conversation and say, so don't pay attention to Christy Lee.
She should come on up here.
She never will. She never will. So the reality is, Pat, 20% of the men are sleeping with 80% of the women. So if you look at it by like, when you do statistics, you have your median, your mean. The mean is the average. But if you look at your median number so if you take your median, which is the guy right in the middle, that guy right at the 50% mark, if you look at his body count, and then you look at the median body count of women, you're going to find that the woman's going to have a much higher number of sexual partners than that man. Okay? And then Ball says, cry about it. No, I'm trying to teach people something. Because, Pat, nobody wants young men to hear what I'm telling them right now. They want to keep guys in the dark. They want to keep guys being little simps, marrying these women, throwing their life away, packed up in divorce.
Been there,
they don't
done
want
that.
guys.
Yep.
No, yeah, Pat, of course.
Yep.
Pat, wouldn't
Yeah,
don't you
I mean,
wish
my
you
ex-wife had more sex than I did in our relationship. Go figure.
Right. That's my point, dude. Is if you take the median man and the median woman and you compare their numbers, the woman hasn't blown away. Because all the women are sleeping with the top percentage of guys, which leaves 80 to 90% of men with like almost nothing, dude. Call them incels, whatever you want, involuntary celibates. They ain't getting laid. But Pat, nobody wants to talk about
I'd show you a
this.
picture of the guy she cheated on with me. It's like you'd get it. You'd get it right away. It's like the guy looks like Captain America. Fuck.
Right. Like your wife didn't go out and cheat on you with like another Patrick. She got like, just the like alpha guy with the testosterone and likely the money. The quintessential fucking Chad. And that's just the reality of it. But guys need to hear this, but society doesn't want you and me talking about this. So all the fucking white knight capers will pipe up in the chat and tell us that we just need to X, Y, and Z when we're just talking about generalities. Why do you want to make this about me and Pat? Why can't we just talk, reality, social dynamics, relationship dynamics between men and women? Because that's just the reality of it. And people don't want to talk about it. And I think this social media landscape has only highlighted and exacerbated a situation that already existed fundamentally. It's basically a situation that, guys, it's even represented in the Bible. Once you remove the construct of monogamy, that's basically, I think, been socially engineered. Like, of course, Christy Lee Dolls can't help herself. She says, not everyone is a cheater, Z. No one said cheater. Did we even say this? I mean, look, you brought up that your wife cheated on you, but see, that's the point. That's the straw man argument that people are going to win. Pat, are we talking about cheating? No.
We're talking about multiple partners. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're in a relationship. You could be dating multiple women, or women could be dating multiple men. Z is just pointing out that in certain circumstances, there's a limited amount of men that are dating a bigger majority of women.
Right. Call it polyamory, call it polygamy, call it whatever you want. Just call it natural natural human dynamics. Like I was saying before, look at even the Old Testament stuff, all that shit. Look at the Muslims. These Abrahamic religions that go back to antiquity. There was no monogamy. Certain men that had certain characteristics, whether it was resources, whether it was just certain characteristics. Certain men were with multiple women, and other men had nothing. Maybe they had to work towards it. Maybe they had to grow towards it. Let's look at the animal kingdom, Pat.
Hold on a second. Wait. You got within here, a guy who said a comment that I don't agree with. He goes, I told my lady if she wants to bounce, that's cool, but I'm keeping the kids. Man, I don't know why, but for some reason that really doesn't resonate with me. That's still some form of manipulation, dude. It's like, you're keeping the kids. What are kids? They're objects. It was like you're keeping the house, the car, the kids. That's kind of odd, don't you think? To involve the kids and using them as collateral. I think that's kind of, I'm sorry, man. I just don't resonate with what you just said.
Yeah, but don't the women do the same?
Yeah, but do two wrongs make a right?
No, but it's the reality of it. So, but anyway, about the sex thing, there could be an argument made that this is just natural. People don't want to accept it. People don't want to accept this reality. It goes back to my central thesis. Stop living in a fantasy world. Especially as a man. Accept what is. Now, you can work to change the world. You can work to change yourself. But you can't ignore reality. That's delusional. That's insanity. Stop it, everybody. If the women are going to be attracted to a certain top percentage of men, whatever the characteristics are, it is what it is. Embrace it and go from there. Stop deluding yourself. You only think that you have a soulmate waiting for you because you were indoctrinated through Hollywood, Hallmark, Disney. Stop it, everybody. When you live long enough and you're honest enough with yourself, you just see the way things are. Just like you have, day turns into night, night turns into day. You have the seasons come and go. There's certain phenomena, natural phenomena. This is one of them. The women are going to have a natural urge sexually towards a certain type of man. It just is what it is. Stop lying to young men. Stop tricking them. Stop getting them to sell their life away to a fantasy.
The overlords
I don't like it, Pat.
The overlords are trying to turn everybody into animals. I mean, just look at the, Woodstock and the hippie movement and everything, and they have them fucking dancing around and fucking having orgies in mud. And it's just like, in my mind, I think they've been programming society to go into this direction where they destroy the nuclear family, right? And the essence of what everything should be, like to have a functioning family unit, right? They've destroyed that completely. Turning everybody into animals, into like fucking, that's what animals do. They fucking look at the cats. Just take cats as an example, man. They fuck everything. They'll even fuck their sisters, they'll fuck anything. So, I mean, in my opinion, the way the society is going in the direction with the shorts, the limited attention spans, these freaking applications where you can swipe and bam, and you're having sex in the next hour. I mean, it's animalistic, and it degrades humanity to a point where, we're not civilized and, striving to become a better, race, I guess, as a whole. But no, I believe we're degrading. I think our grandparents had more values and ethics than we do today.
Let's address Emmanuel's question. The question is Z one of the 20% or the 80% of the men that women go for? That's an interesting question, Emmanuel. If I'd have to be honest about it, I don't know. I guess it depends on the situation in my life. The reality is, if I'm to be real honest, I'm probably not in that 20%. If I'm to be very frank, because that 20% is based off certain standards, certain factors.
Yeah, you have to have made a name for yourself to be in that 20%, I believe.
Okay, say if I showed up to a certain group, I might be in that 20%, right? But overall, I'm not. Because, okay, let's go over the factors that put people in that 20%, Pat. Because people are going to want to say, oh, it's your integrity, it's your morals. That's not what it is, Pat. You and I know what puts guys in the 20%. It's way more shallow than that. Guys, you have to understand, procreation is a shallow thing. Sexual attraction is shallow. It's not about your fucking morals. It's about this. Ready, Pat? 1, social standing. Now, a woman will say confidence, but it's really about your social status. So, say you're in a bar, you're in college, right? If you're the guy that walks in the room and everybody's like, yo, what's up, man? What's up, bro? You're high-fiving, you're throwing darts, you're the guy. Boom, social status. The women are going to be attracted to that right off the bat. Number 2, general physical attractiveness, mainly height and strength.
Yes.
How tall you are
important.
and how strong you are. That's a
the
huge
height is
fact.
The height is 90% of it.
Right.
If you're small, you have to have something else that'll. I know. I'm 5'8".
Yeah. So just your let's just say your physical presence as a man, your height and your strength. All right. Number 3, your wallet. All right. If you have resources, women will be attracted to it. It's just the way it is, guys. Don't avoid it. Don't lie. It just is the way it is. All right. Your resources. All right. Then you get to stuff like confidence, your aura, your vibe that you're putting out. You know what I mean? Being not timid. These are the things. Timmy Carini's going to tell me I'm wrong, but I'm not, Timmy, because Timmy's going to want to say, no, man, how would I do it in my Timmy Carini voice? No, dude, it's about rights and freedoms, dude. I don't understand. It's about rights and freedoms. I wear a rain jacket inside. Who said that about Timmy? Was it Snafu? He said he wears a rain jacket inside. I don't know why I just thought of that. No, man, it's about your beingness and your morals and what you stand on. No, Timmy, that's what you want it to be. That's what I want it to be. But that's not what it is.
He wants the link now.
Very shallow. It's very shallow.
But drop the link. This could be a very interesting conversation if you want.
It really is the stuff I said, and reality just shows it. It's just, I put it like this, man. People hate it when I say this, Pat. If you want to keep a woman, cheat on her. People think that's crazy. People think that's goofy. Look, women get bored. They want one thing more than anything else. You know what that is? They want to feel emotions. Here's the trick, guys. The emotion doesn't matter. And the key is to present an experience where you vary their emotional response. You got to give them the roller coaster, the ups, the downs. Why do you think they love dramas? They want to feel sad. They want to feel happy. They want to feel scared, anxious. They want the emotional roller coaster.
Christy disagrees with you, man.
Of course she
No way,
does,
dude.
but if you examine her, here's the thing about what women say and what they do. They're diametrically opposed. She could say whatever she wants, but I guarantee you, if we were able to take some kind of like magical trip through Christy Lee Doll's like ghost of boyfriends past, or the ghosts of sexual past, we would probably find that everything I'm saying is exactly 100% true, and her words really mean nothing. Because they want the ups, the downs, and everything in between. They need competition anxiety. Look, if you want your woman to be sexually attracted to you, she needs to feel that you're sexually desired by other women. All right, let's let Karini up. Let's let Timmy up, because Timmy's going to disagree. Do I have music for Timmy? I don't. What music would I have for Timmy? I could play my Jewish music, but that's too on the nose, because everybody calls me Jewish too, so I can't throw it at him. I don't know what to play for him.
Where does he live?
He lives like in Vietnam.
Okay, well, there you go. You just figured it out. Play something like...
I think his wife's Vietnamese.
There you go.
I think he's got one of those. I think he went and got one of those East Asian ladies. But unlike most guys, he didn't just ship her over here in a fucking cardboard box. He moved over there. He fucking went to her. He's doing that whole thing.
But women in the East have a different value set, dude. I know. I went out with a woman that was. I was with a Chilean for 4 years, man. They are fucking beautiful people, man. They're just
how is a Chilean woman from the East? You know your geography. That's South America. What are you talking about?
Well, whatever. Anyway, I suck at geography.
You just said whatever.
No, I'm just talking about like culture. Let's say culture. Maybe not from the East, but different cultures have different mindsets.
Yeah, like non-American. Yeah, but they get Americanized really quickly. You try to bring. Maybe Timmy did it right, because if he brings her here, she'd be American. He's backstage laughing. She'd be Americanized within months, if not weeks.
Yeah, he'd be divorced within a year.
He's just
She'd be fucking Captain America.
Right. These women. I was married to an East Asian. I was married to a South Korean, a half South Korean, but she was American. Like, she was born and raised here. Her mom just happened to be South Korean. She wasn't any different. She was horrible. All right, let's let Timmy up. It's enough. Let's let him speak. Hey, Timmy.
What's up? I'll do the music myself. What's up, boys? What's up? How we doing? You thanks for letting me up. I appreciate it. I think you guys are fucking hopelessly wrong for the past 20 minutes or 15 minutes. First of all, I would love to bet with either of you or both of you, and we can do a man's bet that like from the day I set foot onto the land of the United States of America, like if we're broken up within a year, like we can take a monetary amount or something. Obviously, I can't guarantee like what would happen with her and me, but I would love to take that bet if you guys want to put.
You would? How's this?
I'm putting $100 on it. I'll put $100.
Why don't we put some money into like a trust? We can create a trust.
Yeah, sure.
And we put some significant cashish, and we'll make it a 5-year thing, dude.
5 years. All right. Yeah, we could even do like.
You have 5 years to come to the United States, and do your thing.
No, not 5 years. That like after we can do like a vested thing where like after year 1, year 2, year 3, like a year 1 payout, year 2. That'd be great. We should do that.
So tell us why we're wrong. Tell us, Timmy. Come on, educate us.
Okay. I think the main thing is that you're looking at the values that like the average Western woman has, like the average kind of no daddy, like no traditional value on a Western woman has,
Up until
and
now,
you're
I
kind of
agree with
just
you.
blanket. Yeah, you can't just blanket approach. Can't blanket apply that to all women, and then subsequently have that be the outlook for the men, right? Just because even if 95% of them are like that, that's still 1 out of 20, and it's like the 19 out of 20 are going to be at bars and stupid places where you wouldn't want to go anyway. If you actually were wanting to meet a somewhat quote unquote traditional woman, they're going to be somewhere else. So this thing that we do with like statistics and like thinking on such a grand level isn't really like applicable in like the daily, like my individual life. That doesn't really matter if 19 out of 20 broads are morons. You know what I mean?
I guess.
So
you're
what
the
would
one
you
who has
say,
to have-
Timmy? Okay, so let's assume what you're saying is true. Which I could argue against that and say, where's the evidence? But let's take it in this direction. Let's assume that what you're saying is right. That there's that, for lack of a better term, the unicorns out there. How does a man identify that, and how can he be sure in his process? What characteristics would... Okay, so let's assume you're right, and you're talking to men right now. There's young men that listen to us. What characteristics can they look for in the woman to identify the woman you described?
Well, first of all, I mean, it's like you got to develop the picker. I mean, just like anything else. I'm just, you insane person, just say, I don't want to deal with you in my life. So, just fucking... keep typing. I'm just not addressing you like from this point forward. You fucking insane person. Like, I just got to set boundaries. Like, I can't be dealing with insane people anymore.
Well, you're in the wrong place, dude. I mean, here on YouTube, it's like.
Well, I mean, most people are like have good faith and aren't just like constant like psychopaths. So, go fuck yourself, Mitch. So the thing is. You got to develop your picker. Like if you've only been around the same kinds of women, and if you've not developed your abilities as a man to like converse, actually have a thing and stick with it, and have that you grow your skills in that thing and become excellent at what you're doing, it's like you can't know what it's like to be that 20% man. Because you're not somebody that's developed yourself in a thing to become excellent at something and be valuable. So it's like, how do you know it's like a thing that just develops. It's just a skill. And when you see them, there's like the red flags. They're not honest, or they're doing the things like going out to clubs, or it's just like, it's kind of clear.
All right, so hold on, Timmy.
Develop your skills.
I can make an argument that the woman that you're describing, that her presentation is less based on the woman and more based on the environment which she grew up in, and more appropriately, the men that are in her life guiding, protecting, and leading. I would say that it's less about the woman's character and more about the culture that's going to, because I would argue that any woman is capable of these types of, let's say, loose behaviors, that it may indeed be just part of their innate genetics, so to speak. And it's the culture and the men in their life that form an environment that will facilitate the woman that you speak of. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. I mean, there's obviously possibilities for us to go down darker or lighter paths, if you will. But yeah, I mean, the culture is a huge thing. How's their father treat them? Like, what does the mother-father relationship look like for that woman, and what has she learned about relationships? Does she have a toxic attachment style or not? And again, it's like you got to look at the city versus rural argument as well. It's like in the city, it's just, or at least like suburban, that kind of stuff like that, about what are their values, and you can very quickly understand like what the woman's values are by just asking them. And if they don't have any, what do you think about family? Whatever. How many times do you use birth control a lot? Or how many times have you, deleted a baby? Or how many times have you, what do you want in your future? How many kids do you want? Like, these questions are very basic questions. And yeah, man. But I want to jump to what you were saying about, the three things: social status, physicality, and money. It's like, that again, that's for like the Sex and the City girls that are like, oh, he's a doctor and he's ripped and has money, and like like, I guess most women can have that kind of thing in their head because that's what our toxified society says is valuable, right? And if they have a man that's a father that's an inauthentic corporate male, for lack of a better phrase, then they're going to be confused, right? But I think any woman can still be kind of salvaged when a man appears in their life and gives them some guidance. So I don't really even look at it as like, oh, obviously I'm not interested in getting like a dog from the shelter, and I'd rather just have a baby dog from the breeder. Here's this fucking guy. Great. So at this point, we're not going to be able to have an actual conversation anymore, I suppose. But yeah, and then so any guy can then transform and train his bitch, for lack of a better phrase. And that's
so here's
true.
the thing. Here's the thing to me. I would like to think along the lines that you're presenting here. I just don't see it panning out in reality. But we can, we're going to probably always disagree on that. But what's Mitch?
For who? For who?
Just in general. Just take me out of it. Like my observations.
Why? Yeah, but why these generalities though? It's like, I'm speaking from my personal experience. My parents, I never saw them kiss. So my relationship style of what I thought a relationship was really fucked up. So I failed miserably, constantly in the earlier part of my life. But then I was like, I had this inside me said, no, this can't be what it is. So I just worked at it. And finally I got quote unquote success with women. And it was just making myself better and just being confident. And like, for example, I telling you that social status, physicality, and money is not it, because I used to live in literally in a closet at my friend's house in Avon, Colorado, because all I wanted to do was snowboard. And that was my one thing at that part of my life. And I was so fulfilled and happy and excited and motivated. I was pulling bras back to the closet, and they didn't care because where's the social status? I was still a skinny fuck. I was broke as fuck. I had no status. I was just a snowboard instructor just like them.
Here's the
what
thing.
Is that? Like, how do you
because like I said, because look at the environment. You did have those things. Your confidence was high. Confidence was one of the four things I said. Okay, you actually did have social status because amongst the circles that you were running in, you were a snowboard instructor. That's status amongst your in-group.
That was like first year and second year snowboard instructors when a lot of those people were there for like 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. I was like the new guy. You can say, okay, maybe there's a bit of status because it's a social. It's just like, I would say I'm at the bottom of the ladder in terms of the social hierarchy.
Well, Tim, you might have a fucking huge dick too. I didn't include that on the list, but that should be on there. All right, so Mitch,
part of it.
So Mitch, Timmy feels as though you being up here is going to derail all rational discourse. Why do you think he sees that? And it seems like your reputation is such that people seem to think that you're going to like derail conversation. What are your thoughts on that?
I see it as certain types of people that like to control narratives.
What narrative am I controlling? I'm telling my personal experience in life,
like that
and
one.
then instantly in the comments you're like you're a piece of garbage. Like, whatever I say, you don't like.
Rational conversation. It looks like that's a you problem, not me.
What? I'm not having a rational conversation with Z and OTW.
But you said it's going to stop as soon as I got up here. That's what we were addressing.
Isn't that how it usually goes with you and me? That's
right? A you problem.
How is that a me problem when it doesn't happen with me and anyone else pretty much, except like snafu? How is that? How can you explain that? I could probably list off
happening with
100
you right
characters
now?
in the
And
metaverse,
what did
and
I
maybe
do
you
to
and
make you
Snafu
act
are the
the way
only
you're
two
doing?
that can't have a good
Why
faith,
can't you
honest
take
conversation.
responsibility for your own actions? Why are you
Which
blaming
ones?
me
Which
for
actions?
causing you to act the way you're acting?
You constantly present the same way to me, and I constantly try to reach out to you in good faith, and we like sometimes reach reconciliation,
You
and then
tried
after
to
that you're
reach
like, you're a
out to
fraud, you're a
me
piece of
in
shit.
good faith after making bad faith, false
Yeah.
claims, and
What false claims have I made about you? Name them.
you rattled off a bunch of regurgitated nonsense of Paul's lies about my past.
Why are you
and
bringing
shit
up
like
Paul? It says
that.
nothing to do with Paul. What are you talking about, Paul?
Because that's where you got your lies that you tried to portray onto me.
About you? I'm talking about our experience together, me and you.
Yeah,
You always
that's
have a
part
problem.
of our experience together. You come at me with twisted, false claiming lies and bullshit.
Okay, which false claims?
And
you
you
haven't
want to
listed
act
them
like
yet.
you're this good faith, honorable man, and
Okay,
all
what
this
are the false claims? Let's address them.
whatever regurgitated lies about Paul telling you that I beat my mother or what the fuck ever.
When did I say that?
You know,
I don't know about that.
You said
I don't
stupid
know
shit
anything
like
about
that.
that.
Yeah, you did. And my
When did I
living
say you beat your mother?
situation, like you know about
What?
my living situation, you know.
Well, I don't know.
shit.
What are you talking
You
about?
don't
I
know
don't know
shit
about
about
you
me,
and your mother.
and you're not willing to know. You're just trying to control a narrative about me to discredit me because I challenge your fucking bogus ass rhetoric.
Which rhetoric do you disagree with about me in relationships at this moment?
I didn't disagree with any of it.
Okay, then why can't we just talk like men? Like what? I don't even know.
Go ahead.
I've never heard you talk about your
Go
mother
ahead.
at all.
What do you?
I don't know what the hell you're
What's stopping you? Again, you need to take responsibility for yourself instead of blaming me for the way you're acting right now.
No, all I did was comment on your comment, and I know the only reason why you're acting like this right now is because I said something. If I don't, you're just gonna
Acting like what?
And then
You're
Like
the
what?
one acting some sort of way, all up in your feelers.
Right.
Right.
You're okay. So are you not like a bipolar, like psychopath?
No.
That's a
Okay,
loaded
so
question.
Sometimes. Okay. Well, he said he's not. Okay, but then sometimes you come up on these panels and act completely normal, and sometimes you act completely unhinged. Okay. No rebuttal. Okay. Great
That's
stuff.
your perspective of it. I don't care about what your perspective is.
Right.
I feel
Okay.
like I act the way I act, and it's I'm like energy, man. I'm flowing. Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. I'm not this monotone, you know, lame ass
so what are
bitch,
the
you know,
false-
like you.
Great.
I actually live life.
Right.
I have emotions. I have feelings. You know,
Yeah,
so what?
you're an emotional bitch. So what are the false
No,
claims? Then? You keep
I'm
saying
not
I
an
make false
emotional bitch. I just don't need to
Okay.
present some false strength to make the internet think that I'm some sort of man that I'm not.
Right. So what are the false claims? I never said anything about your mother. So that's
Yeah,
false.
you did.
What
Yeah,
else?
you did.
Bring it up. Bring it up.
You regurgitated whatever fucking lies Paul was on that week. When you started
Can
the beef
anyone
with me and you,
Can anyone corroborate what you're
when
saying?
you
is
started
true?
the
Because
beef
your
with me
word
and
means
you,
nothing to me. Your word means
where does
nothing
the
to me.
beef? Why don't you articulate where the beef between me and you comes from? Where did it start?
You say I make false claims about you, and you can't even demonstrate them or prove them. Please
Right.
go ahead and
You
I'm
want
here-
me to go
I'm here to
pull the
honorably
clips?
say-
If I pull the clips, what are you going to do to make your wrongs more right? If
I
I'm
hurt
right.
your feelings, there's
Presuming
nothing I
I'm
can
right.
do about that. First of all, if I
Presuming
hurt your
I'm right,
feelings,
what are you
that's
going to
your
do to
problem,
right your
and that's
wrongs? As an honorable man, presuming I'm right, what are you going to do to right your wrongs?
presuming you're right. Okay, then you need to make a claim. You don't fucking understand how claims work either. You think if somebody hurt your fucking feelings that you're owed something. That's
No,
what a
you
bitch
made
would
false
say.
claims, bad faith, false
You had-
claims to control a narrative because you're afraid of the truth. You can't just handle the truth. You got to control a narrative about people to
Why?
elevate
Why-
yourselves above someone else in your mind. But in
Okay, are all
reality,
people equal?
you're putting yourself below me because you can't stand on truth. Now, why don't you bring some of your false claims forth?
I don't make claims about you because I don't really know
Yeah,
anything
you
about
do.
you. Which ones?
Yeah, the same ones Paul made.
Paul is a different being than me. I don't even know.
Right. So
what
why do you
he
regurgitate
and
his
him do.
bullshit as truth like you know what the fuck you're talking about?
Regarding what? You?
Yeah.
Bro, you and me constantly argue, and you constantly say I'm a fraud and make false claims. And then I ask you, what are you talking about? And I just tell you what my experience is whenever you and me come up, and like, you never want to get to the heart
All
of
right,
things.
so let's get down
And-
to it. What's your problems with me? What's your problem? You seem to be
I
having
don't know.
problems.
You constantly have a problem with me. You're the one.
No, I don't. I'm
constantly
good.
writing
I'm
comments.
chilling.
You don't like that. I
I'm
blocked
doing.
you
What do you
once.
want to have a conversation about? You want to get back to the
I don't wanna
conversation you
talk
were
to you.
having
I said
before?
at
Do you want to move
20
forward
minutes
with the
ago.
productive conversation now? What's your goal here?
20 minutes ago, I said I don't want to talk to you, and you think you're entitled to just write comments to me, and like I'm supposed to talk to you and
Entitled to
and
write comments at you. When did I write a comment at you? It's been a while, buddy. You're the one who addressed me today.
you wrote something about me, and I see it.
What did I
so I'm
write
gonna
about
comment
you?
on it. I don't know. Z put it on the screen, dude. I don't know.
Maybe you're just paranoid?
Paranoid about what?
Me writing comments about you, apparently?
Why would I be paranoid about that?
Because you're saying that I wrote a comment about you and you don't remember what it was, but Z put it up on the screen, and then Z asked me to come up and you addressed me, and now I'm responding to you.
I don't know. You want to play this game like you don't have a problem with me, and then you have a problem with me.
No,
And,
right
like,
now I don't have a
you
problem
don't?
with you. When I have a problem
Okay,
with you,
now you don't?
I'm not afraid to tell it. I don't bottle it up like some little bitch and then explode when it's convenient for the narrative.
Am I exploding? Like, why can't you respect the fact that like I don't want to deal with you? Okay, it's fine. We're on this random
You're the
panel
one who
and we're both
addressed
here.
me. You don't have to deal with me.
You
You're the
addressed
one who
me in the
chose-
comment.
You're the one. No, I didn't address you in the comment. Now, tell
All right,
me what I
let me go
did or
back. Let's
said
go
to
back.
address
All right,
you
let's
in the
see.
comment. Go find
Let's
it.
see. I'm going to find it now. Now we're doing this.
Mitch, it seems like you addressed him in a comment. My
What did I say?
understanding was that I don't recall, but my understanding was that you directed a comment towards Timmy.
Which one?
I have to go back. I'm not sure.
Going
It could
through
have been
the record
misinterpreted
now.
on my part too.
Yeah. I don't recall ever addressing Timmy today.
So why'd you come up?
Because he asked me to come up.
Why does he ask you to come up?
That's not a question for me. That's a question for Z.
Z, why'd he
Because
ask you to come up?
it seemed as though Mitch directed a comment towards you. I put it on screen, and then you commented that you don't want to talk to Mitch, and he's pretty much insane. And
The
not
comment of mine that
somebody
you
you
put
wanna
on
deal with.
screen was that I got laid within the last 2 weeks, and it was a little chat argument that I was having with G.
So did you? How'd that go down, Mitch? Let's get into that. Where'd you find this lady? What's your current status relationship with her? Why don't you bring us into it, man? How did it go
No,
down?
I'm good. I'm good. I told you what I wanted to tell you.
Okay, so I found the comment while I was talking. Z put Mars like your fantasies are showing again. So you're addressing me because I was talking.
No, I was addressing G.
Oh, you were
Oh.
addressing Jeep Girl? Okay, well.
No, G.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Okay, then I was mistaken. However,
I assume
like,
that was towards you too.
like of course you would assume that because you constantly just like say little comments in the chat. This is what you do.
No, I don't. You don't interest me at
Yeah, you
all.
do.
I usually only respond to you and your bullshit.
Mitch, speaking about responding, can you respond to Christy Lee Dahl's comment there? Her question. It says, "What was the hour? What was the hourly rate?"
No, I don't pay for pussy. Sorry.
But it went down, huh? Good for you, Mitch. You know, you got to sow your wild oats every once. Did you say it was on a full moon too, or did I just make that up in my mind?
It tends to be, I've noticed.
Yeah, he's gone. He dropped off. Oh wait, here he comes.
No, it tends to be on a full moon for some reason. I've noticed.
Well, I
Yeah.
noticed that about you, dude. You tend to respond to the full moons much like a werewolf or some other kind of like, mythical dark creature. Let's get down to the issue. Regardless of what you said today, you guys obviously have some sort of let's say, adversarial relationship with each other that seems to be endemic at this point. I would say that, I don't know, Timmy, it kind of seems like you see Mitch acting in some type of bad faith, which I'm sure he would disagree with. Mitch, is there any credence that you approach people sometimes with a particular energy that they might interpret as less than sincere and authentic? What are your thoughts on that?
Sure. I mean, I'm not in control of how people interpret things, but yeah, I definitely have a certain energy when it comes to this community because they're very proud of themselves and their accomplishments and their knowledge or whatever. And yeah, so I've lived real life. I've met a lot of people, and I just know that people don't act like Timmy does in real life.
Act like what?
Right. So let me try to mediate this. So, Mitch, it seems as though you conceptualize yourself. You think of yourself as kind of like almost like a standard that you hold to people speaking around these communities where you're going to check people, you're going to check their egos, and you're going to call them out. And you're kind of playing a role, and you have an identity that sort of defines you here. You identify certain things in people, whether they're reality or not, and you almost seem like you feel like it's your job to call them out on it. You've expressed this before about Timmy. You feel as though he's inauthentic in his presentation, whether it's true or not. I'm sure Timmy would disagree. What about his presentation do you see as insincere? Do you just see it as bravado, that he wouldn't translate in real life, that the things he say wouldn't transfer in
he likes person to use these buzzwords like honorable man and shit like that. And yet, these bad faith, false claims and shit like that. And yet he's just as guilty of the shit he accuses people of. Where do you think he learns it? That's what I'm saying. Like, people like Paul are enabling these sort of like weak ass motherfuckers to think that they're strong, and have some sort of credence and standing. And he doesn't. He's full of shit. And so I do have a responsibility.
I'm just generally
I
full
feel
of
like
shit.
to call out bullshit when I see it. That's what I do, and so yeah, there's a lot of bullshit floating around in these communities, and so there's a lot of shit to call out, but it's not a popular opinion if you're going to stand on truth against a bunch of people who are claiming to be the truth but are presenting a bunch of fucking bad faith, false claiming bullshit.
Interesting.
I mean, I never said nothing about your mother. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I really don't. I'll unless I was I don't know where I was that day in my own mind. I don't remember anything about your mother. I mean, do I agree with Paul that like you're fucking inept and you're like I don't see value in people that have your sort of disposition, and your ethic in life is to play the role that you're doing. Like, I don't like that ethic, so that's why I do give you shit. And it's just like it's bizarre that you do the things that you do and you think you're doing good, and it's like, would you fucking look around and look at the insanity and slavery and terrorism and genocide, and like you're looking to me and telling me I'm a bad faith like piece of garbage. And it's like I really feel like you don't like anybody to be confident about anything. You want all to be like communistically equal, and earning a living is bad. Like being confident is bad.
Now substantiate some of these claims about
because
how
you
feel
don't
that
like
I
when
think.
anybody says anything confident. You just
Right.
automatically think that they're trying to control, quote unquote, control
Can
the
you use an
narrative, and that I
example?
want control.
Can you use an example?
Your constant beef with what I've seen with anything is, oh, you're saying something so that you can control the narrative, so that you can control. You don't like when it seems like another man is trying to control the situation. Is that true?
Yeah.
But bro, like, how have you not? This is what I go back to. Like, so what is your alternative where nobody leads anybody else, and like we all are like, I'm
It's
in the
leadership
forest, you're in
through
the forest.
service, not rules. Not rules. You know, you're not ruling somebody.
Who's not? Who isn't here as a volunteer in any of these places?
People getting paid.
Okay, but aren't they volunteering to accept fiat to come here and be an agent then?
Are they what?
Even people that are getting paid as an agent, they're still choosing to do it, right? And you're saying, oh, the people that are giving don't. You're trying to protect like dumb people from being scammed by grifters. Like this is your thing.
No,
So who are you?
I don't even have pity for the dumb people being scammed by the grifters.
Yeah,
I
let me
have
ask.
a
Let me
responsibility
hold
to
on.
serve
Let me
the-
mediate here. Hold on. Let me jump in.
Who are you defending then?
the
Yeah,
truth.
let me ask you. Hold on, because Timmy makes a point. Like, what motivates you, Mitchell? Like, okay,
The truth. It's simple. It's the truth. Like I have a responsibility to serve the truth in my mind.
and I appreciate that. But here's the thing,
That's going to be limited to my perception, obviously. You know, is
right?
and based on my experiences. So, you know, my truth and my perception of truth may not align with yours, but I'm not going to change mine because of that.
All right. So here's the thing, Mitch.
Wait, let me
hold
just
on.
make
Let's
one point.
go ahead.
If you're not afraid, if a man's not afraid of what his conviction is in, like that's fine. You can have what's true to you, and I can have what's true to me. And there's the objective, what is true, you know, to all of us, and God will figure that out, right? But I'm not afraid. Like if you're gonna say your thing, I want to be convinced. Like if you think you're right, I would like it would be. Wouldn't you be serving me and doing me a favor if you were attempting to convince me that I was wrong?
I'm not trying to attempt to convince you of anything. I'm just going to present my perception of truth as I perceive it, you know, based on my experiences. And that's all I can do. I can't claim that I know the truth or that I am the truth, right? Because that's not true. Truth is something that you experience, not something that you know. And your experiences are going to be limited on your perception. And so when other men try to tell me about me, you know, I laugh at it. It's comical, and you have a tendency to do that. You would often, you know, I think a lot of our problems stemmed from you blocking me in chat and then continuing to talk about me. And that, you know, that's what kind of made me raise an eyebrow to you. And, you know, so I call you out. I focus on you sometimes, and I call you out when I perceive you as spinning a narrative or trying to control a narrative or twist a narrative. And you seem to be responding to that by trying to discredit my character with, you know, talking about, you know, whatever lies that you've heard over the metaverse that you were able to regurgitate, you know, based on no substantial evidence. So you're just a gossiping little bitch, basically. And you want to claim to be some sort of honorable, upstanding man. And so, you know, if you're going to elevate yourself above others and act in that way, you know, I feel like as somebody who can perceive that has a responsibility also to call it out. So
All right, Mitch, let me jump in. Hold on. Let me try to get a hold of this. Here's my question. And Mitch, I hear a lot of what you're saying, and a lot of it I respect in a big way. But here's the question on my mind. why your focus, your time, your attention, your energy, why on such a small community? Okay, so whether it's the Unslavious community or not, like it's a big internet, it's a big world. There's a lot of people who need truth. There's a lot of people who need some type of, let's say, scrutiny, right? Why here? Why so much time and energy towards certain people and certain times? That's my big question with you. I get what you're saying, but I see the only flaw is that your hyper focus on certain people, certain communities seems. I just wonder what your interests are and what your motivations are, and
Well,
why
that
not use why not use your time and energy elsewhere? Are you a bit obsessed with certain people?
That's developed over time because of some personal experiences that led to recognizing this network of YouTubers that are working together to protect their network and not the truth. And so, that's what has caused me to sort of hyper focus on, a certain area. And so to kind of put that into perspective, to let you know kind of who and what I am, like, I don't even really care if you're a fraud. Like, there are so many frauds out there, and there are so many more clever frauds out there than what I have experienced with this. This is pretty lame and boring if you really want to get down to it. There are other more clever ones that are harder to detect. This shit's so easy, and it almost gets boring sometimes. But like I said, it's based on my personal experiences. That's why I'm so focused on these guys. They're a part of a network that has intentionally tried to manipulate truth and reality for their benefit. And I see that sort of tactic continue to go on while claiming to be standing for the better good of what's true and right. And so, I see a lot of people trying to be right instead of doing what's right. And that's
interesting. I'm just wondering how much of it almost seems like personal.
Yeah,
and I'm
like
just wondering
I just
if you
said,
evaluated that.
Personal. It's based on personal experiences. That's why I hyper focus on this network, because it's based on experiences. So I can fully understand that, to the best of my ability. Like, I can comprehend that. I experienced it. I lived it. I'm not like studying something and learning about something, secondary. This is something that I've experienced personally. So it is personal. And that's something I really tried to articulate. But at the same time, when you're using my name for your fraud, look, there are so many frauds out there, and it's the internet. So there's no shortage of frauds and scammers and grifters out there, right? And there are ones that I think are more influential and probably more important to expose, but that's something that I'm not as experienced with. So,
Mitch, let me ask you a question. What do you think about the fact that Timmy drinks with a straw?
I think it's kind of cute.
Is it? Are you anti-straw? There's a new movement to be anti-straw now. Like, if you go to these places, the new thing is paper straws, because apparently plastic straws are like anti-environmental. They get stuck in turtles' noses or whatever. But I can't take these paper straws. It makes no sense to me. By the time you're done your drink, it's like half melted. It sticks to your lip. It's insane, this paper straw thing. I can't even believe. Talk about, is there any more example of the woke culture that we live in than these paper straws? Does anybody feel strongly about it as I do? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, in Colorado, they started charging for grocery bags. It's 10 cents a grocery bag.
Oh, they did the same thing here in Jersey. I used to go you know, you go to the store, the convenience store, you go to the supermarket, and you get those thin plastic bags, and they're nice. You can use them for things, you know. Like you want to clean your cat litter, you want to pick up your dog poop, you got the bag. People were using the bags. Who just was throwing them away? Or it doesn't make sense. So now people got to go. They're just going to go buy the bags. The stores wanted to give the people the bags. The stores want convenience for their shoppers. Those bags probably cost nothing compared to their overall operating costs. The so-called government comes in, outlaws these bags. It's complete government overreach. I'm fucking tired of it. No straws, no paper bags. We have to put a stop to it. This is what I'm passionate about, Mitch.
See, I'm not so sure if I can jump in, Z. I'm not so sure the stores want anything for us. I mean, at the end of the day, they're no different than us. They're just men and women acting in a certain capacity outside of what is right and fucking wrong. And we all come together with these ideals and lay them out on the table, and all of a sudden they're fucking law and policy. I'm sorry. If you come with some fucked up imagination on how to live life in a righteous path, I just find it humorous at best. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just men and women.
Well, you would think at least that the company has a profit motive. You take away morality. Hold on, take away morality from a business.
The people as a whole.
Hold on, I didn't hear what you said.
I said, isn't that company and those people there to represent the people as a whole?
Well, I mean,
or just for themselves?
Look, ideally, you would think that let's say the market system, this commercial system would exist under the umbrella of morality. But even if you take that away, but here's the thing, though, even if you take it away, they'll at least have a profit motive. Under the profit motive, they would want to serve their customers and give them the best experience. So one could make an argument that even if you remove morality from the construct, that just the free market system would promote certain things that would benefit the customer. One could even make that argument. But then once the government steps in and starts regulating what these businesses can do, then you see the situation we have today. But I get what you're saying, 5-Speed. They should be operating under morality. But who's to say they're going to do that? Who's going to?
Well, that's the way the law. That's the way it's written and set up, though. It's the way it's supposed to be. It's the way it's supposed to be. There's only one business here, my friends, and it's the people's business. If we can't get along and manage that business, we're all going to fail.
It's already failed.
Well, I don't believe that. I believe that it's. I mean, for ones to say it's already failed, I believe they've already failed. They've gave up.
Modern society is a fucking failure, dude.
I agree there, Tommy. I agree there, my friend.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, people don't. It's all all their thought processes are based on feelings and emotions. You know what I mean? There's no reason and logic behind it. It's all tickling their egos.
But Mitch says logic is bad and we shouldn't try to convince each other or make anything clear.
I've never said that. See, that's a bad faith, false claim.
So how is it that I'm supposed to discuss with you something when we don't agree? Like, just because I use and I say something declarative, that's like me spinning a narrative. Like, you'll say anything that what I'm doing is negative if you don't agree with what I'm saying. You'll say I'm spinning a narrative, twisting the truth.
No, I don't even. I was tuning you out, but then you mentioned my name to strengthen your point.
Because that's what you do.
No, it's not.
So if we disagree on something, how am I supposed to say the thing that I think is true and I think you're wrong? And because I love you as another child of God, I'm trying to make you see the same thing I see. Like,
that's your problem. You're trying to make me see the same thing you see. You need to be.
Then what the
you need
fuck
to be
is
a
the
grown
point of
up
you being here
and
if you're not gonna
communicate more effectively to have more of a mutual understanding, or agree to disagree and move the fuck on.
Hey, Mitch, you and I, we
Why
spoke
say
years
anything
ago,
then?
right?
Why fucking
Yeah, what's
even
up,
talk
5
that?
speed?
Why do you even come here and talk that?
What's up?
Okay.
5 speed?
I mean, man, I just wanted to throw that out there. You and I talked a little bit back in the past. You know, I think what it
I've known you for
is
several
each
years.
one of us, yeah, each one of us, we've got our own journeys here in this life. And, it's the things that we go through in life and the experiences we share with each other is how we all learn from one another. There's no one man got all the fucking knowledge. But if we continue to go backwards and not go forward on the truth of facts, right? How are we ever going to get anywhere? Right? Because I think a lot of these guys out here that call themselves truthers and want all of this shit, they only want it for themselves. They don't give a fuck about nobody else. But the ones like Paul Wizard and Timmy, I believe, and I even say Z as far, I think they generally want it for everybody.
If that were true, then why wouldn't he just continue on with his intellectual conversation without
Because I don't
taking
think
a
it's
cheap
about him.
shot, without taking a cheap shot to try and discredit my character? Right? That's
Because that
shows-
that's an
that
example.
I'm
shows
always
his
wanting to
intent, man. Like, why do you see that that's what he wants when he's doing that right in front of your face? Right? Come on, man. You're blind. You got your blinders on.
So, Mitch, I like this conversation, but let's really get into it.
Let's get into it.
All right. So, let's talk about your most recent experience with the lady that you met a couple weeks ago. Come on, bring us into it, Mitch.
I don't like doing that.
Yeah, but she's not going to hear it. We could just talk, generally speaking. How did you meet this nice lady? How did it go down? Because there's people out here that they want to know. But here's the thing, Mitch. We don't know much about you. Sometimes when you personalize yourself, it kind of helps to open up. Look, we're out here, put myself out. I'm out here making a fool out of myself every day because part of being, let's say, a leader is being able to play the fool. Part about displaying and sharing yourself and knowledge is opening up and being vulnerable. So I don't need you to spill all the beans about this lady, but look, Benton said it before I said it. He said it before I said it. Vulnerability, because Benton knows what I know, is that people are always going to be on their guard when you're not sharing yourself. Let's get into it a little bit. So what happened? You don't seem like a guy who's going to go on Tinder. This might help somebody.
No.
You don't seem like a guy who's going to go on Tinder. I don't see you on like dating apps, right? You seem like more of an IRL type of person. All right. So bring us into it. I don't want to assume things.
I'm not really gonna get into it, man. You want to know where I met her? Like, I'm not gonna like go into the details of how it went down and stuff.
Look at that smile on your face. Look at
Yeah, I mean, come on, man.
Come on, Mitch. Cough it up, dude.
I mean, that's private stuff, man.
Of course it's private. Help somebody out here. Come on, humanize yourself, Mitch.
Well, I could say the laundromat's not a bad place to engage in conversation, and sometimes the energy's right. And,
Gotcha. Benton's laughing. So you're at the laundromat. I haven't been to a laundromat in a while. I used to go. Is it fair to say that she was, let's say, an ethnically diverse person?
Yeah, she was Hispanic.
Yeah, nice.
She had a real heavy accent too. It was quite enjoyable. Good energy. We're staying in communication, but it was. I don't expect it to. I'm not in that place in my life. We're right. It worked out, but.
So you had an experience. There's many ways to communicate with people, and with men and women, sometimes we communicate physically. It kind of seems like that's what happened. That's kind of the way it is, man. It's kind of the way things happen. It's how this whole darn comedy of the human race just keeps perpetuating itself on down the ages. It's stuff like that. What do you think about society's construct, monogamy, marriage, quote unquote, legal marriage? What do you think? You think it's a deception from the top down, a control structure? Do you think it's a natural state of man to settle down, to join as man and woman in holy matrimony? Or do you think that's more of a control mechanism?
From my very first relationship, it was long term, like 3.5 years. I would say was long term, you know, and I've only been with like 5 women, you know, and just the one night stand thing, that's not my thing really. I fall in love, you know, but that's what I'm afraid of at this point in my life, you know, is like I can't afford that, you know, so I'm not really interested in getting into a relationship. You know, because I do fall in love and that shit. So like I would say I'm more of a monogamy boy for sure. You know, I think that, you know, having one really good family, you know, that's enough work within itself, you know, trying to manage and balance, you know, multiple women and multiple families. That's not really my thing. So, you know, I think if I were to do my part, I would, you know, effectively, you know, care for one family. But yeah, I don't really see myself doing that. That's not really where I'm at. You know, I'm not positioning myself I'm not expecting to ever have kids. You know, offspring.
Mitch, a lot of people look like a lot of people look at sex from a physical thing, almost like an ego perspective, right? To conquer something, to achieve something, you know, like a Lou Bass, very low, very base, right? Very, you know, I'd imagine Lou's not looking at his sexual encounters as like a spiritual experience, but you seem to be different. You're kind of more like me, where you look at interactions with people in a different way. You don't just see it from a, you know, you don't see it from a physical perspective as such. It seems like a connection, an energy thing. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's one of the great tricks of this society is they've degraded the sexual experience between men and women into something that's perverse at this point and almost degenerate?
Yeah, I think they've degraded that whole energetic experience for sure. I think that's the supernatural. You know, I think we used to communicate much more effectively and, you know, much more, you know, satisfyingly, if that's a word. Yeah, I guess it is. But, you know, that it was just, you know, I think that it's very barbaric now. Very, we've like degraded for sure. We've gone backwards instead of upgraded. We've gone backwards with our communication and our relationships. And,
well, it seems like kind of a meat market. It's almost like whatever this technology is, you know, this, you know, these dating apps, the social media, just social. Dude, Instagram is probably the biggest dating app. Social media, it's fucking, dude. That's the thing. It almost seems like they've instituted a technology that has exploited our more base nature. All right. It plays on our reward system. We're basically being conditioned to, in a stimulus response mechanistic fashion, almost engineered. So I would agree with you that you get the situation you have today. You have the Instagram thoughts. You have these young women wasting their prime sexual years and reproductive years, just having hot girl summer, playing into you know, these materialistic desires, and I think it's to the overall detriment of mankind. and I'm kind of over it. Let's bring up Timmy and Russ to say their final thoughts, and we'll wrap it up. Mr. Timmy, Mr. 5-Speed, any final thoughts before we say goodbye to the audience today?
I mean, not really. I mean, it is what it is. But it's like, if you're gonna have any sort of thing that you're doing that involves other people, then if you're gonna lead them, like, usually there's a right way to do the thing that y'all are involved in. You know, whether it's running a hamburger stand, like there should be one way that the hamburger, I almost said McDonald's, that the hamburger is made the correct way that we want to make it. And so that's got to be followed. And then if it doesn't, the hamburger's fucked up. So it's like any endeavor that involves other people, there has to be a logical and reasonable way to do it. And everybody should be a volunteer involved in it. I'm not a proponent of slavery. So, me as a father, I'm going to scold my kid if he is running towards the street. I'm not going to be like, hey, brother, don't run over there because there may be a car that may hit you. I don't want to like yell at you, So in that moment, I'm going to be like, I'm going to yell at him and be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? And then because otherwise, because I know what's going to happen if he goes to the street. So those are my words.
Cool. Much love, Timmy. It was good talk to you, man, as
Peace.
always, man.
Yeah, man. See you guys.
Guys, final thoughts?
Yo, I mean, I could come up with a few thoughts. 5-Speed, I don't know if I know he's trying to wrap up, but
Go ahead, Mitch. Just what's on your mind, and we'll say goodbye to everybody.
yeah, just wondering what.
My number's still the same. I was on mute. I was talking. I didn't even realize I was on mute.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I thought you had a point you were trying to make real quick, so I'm happy.
Yeah, I was just, he was wrapping up and I was giving a final thought, but what's on your mind?
Oh, nothing particularly. I just know if you were trying to make a point, I didn't pick it up earlier, but
All right, but you can always reach out to me. I'm going to get out of here with this final thought. Remember, if government is there to do the people's work, who's the people directing them? Do they have your best interests at heart? Be the change you wish to see, people. Much love, many blessings, Z.
Right on. Peace out, man.
yeah, I guess I've said it many times, but it definitely stands true. I think is the lack of self-governance is the reason why we have government, and so I think Timmy, and I could easily have resolution if that's what he wanted, but he seems to want the conflict and then to position himself as the victim in such conflicts. So I see that a lot. It's a common tactic, but yeah, whatever. Got a lot of victims out here. We need more advocates, activists. All right, peace out. Thanks for having me up.
All right, Mitchell. Adios.
Later.
It's Mitchell Marslife, everybody. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good energetic conversation. Passionate. A lot of passionate people here. Look, Christos is here. He showed up. Hey, Christos, were you paying attention to that part about, the stuff that we were saying? I know Christos doesn't listen to me. He'll learn, though. Keep going down on these bitches, Christos. See what happens. It's not going to work out for you. You can't be agnostic on the subject, young man. You got no business being down there. It's not good for anybody. Stop it, Christos. Anyway. That'll do it for another Z show, everybody. Come back and join us again tomorrow for another exciting stream here on Z's show. See you tomorrow, if the fates are willing. Much love, everybody. Peace out.